To start the dough, add lukewarm water to a large bowl. Add the sugar and sprinkle the yeast over top. Because we used instant yeast, we just need to wait until it dissolves. Next, pour in the olive oil. Sprinkle in about half of the semolina flour and half of the bread flour, and mix to combine. Now add the remaining flour and the salt. Stir a few times to combine the ingredients. Now, use your hands to bring the dough together. Then turn it out onto the counter. Leave any bits that may have stuck to the bowl. You can see here that the dough is quite rough. Kneading the dough not only evenly distributes the yeast, it also helps to develop the gluten, which is what gives the dough the ability to be stretched. Refrain from adding additional flour as it will make the dough tough. Knead the dough for about 5 to 7 minutes or until it starts to feel and look smooth. Use the heel of your hand to compress and push the dough away from you. Then fold it back over itself, give it a turn, and repeat. Put some weight into it and you'll get into a nice rhythm. When the dough is ready, it should look like this. At this point, I like to cut the dough in half, but you can portion it however you like. Just form it into a round, lightly oil a large bowl, and very lightly coat the dough in oil and place into the bowl. Cover with plastic wrap and let it slow rise overnight in the refrigerator. This allows the dough to rest for a long period of time and develop more flavor. If you don't have time to let the dough slow rise, don't worry. Just oil it slightly, then set it onto a lightly oiled tray and cover with plastic wrap. Let rise until double in size. With the other half of the dough, I portion it into 4 and then freeze it for future use. Shape the dough, coat it with a little bit of oil, and place into individual freezer bags. Then just let thaw overnight in the refrigerator and let it come to room temperature before shaping. This dough has been rising now for about 2 hours at room temperature. This one here, we let rise overnight in the refrigerator. Clearly, this dough has risen substantially more. Just let it come to room temperature before shaping. When baking pizzas, it's best to use a pizza stone. They retain their heat well, which helps the dough cook evenly. It also helps give the dough that nice crispy crust. If you don't have a pizza stone, you could use the back of a baking tray, but you won't get quite the same result. Place the stone into the lower third of a cold oven. Preheat the oven to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. Let the stone heat for at least 30 minutes before baking your first pizza. This will ensure the stone is good and hot. To shape the dough, place a piece of room temperature dough onto a lightly floured counter. Press it flat into a bit of a round. Continue to press and turn and stretch the dough. You can also hold the dough upright, rolling it between your fingers as you stretch it, like this. The weight of the dough will also help stretch it. Really, there are many ways to roll out pizza dough. Basically, use whichever way works for you. Now, sprinkle the peel with cornmeal. Gently transfer the dough to the peel and proceed with your pizza recipe. Because pizza is such a personal thing, we don't dare tell you what to put on your pizza, but here are just a few examples of some of the pizzas we like. Just remember this: less is more when it comes to putting toppings on your pizza. If you are looking for a pizza sauce that is a bit thicker with a more concentrated tomato flavor, use a good quality can of crushed tomatoes. Add a clove or two of émincé garlic, add a bit of salt, stir, and you're ready to go. This second pizza sauce, which is the one I prefer, has a lighter and fresher taste which won't overpower the pizza. Simply strain a can of whole tomatoes and crush them by hand. Add a tablespoon or so of quality olive oil, some salt, garlic, fresh basil, and mix everything together. Either one is nice. It's up to you, really. The first tomato sauce has a thicker consistency and a stronger tomato taste, while the second one has a lighter consistency and taste. For this pizza, start with the tomato sauce. Top that with a few pieces of thinly sliced serrano ham or prosciutto. Then add some fresh basil, fontina cheese, and bake. Before placing the pizza into the oven, gently shake it to ensure it moves easily. Then slide it onto the pizza stone like this. Bake for approximately 6 to 8 minutes or until the crust starts to brown. To finish, drizzle the pizza with a bit of olive oil and serve. The simplicity of this next pizza is what makes it so nice. Lightly brush the dough with olive oil that has been infused with some chopped garlic. Add about 1/3 of mozzarella and 2/3 fontina cheese. Bake for 6 to 8 minutes or until golden. Once done, squeeze some fresh lemon juice over top and drizzle with some olive oil. For a pizza with a bit of a twist, lightly brush the dough with a mixture of pesto and olive oil. Then add some caramelized onions. Not too many though, as they can be overpowering. Now top with pieces of soft goat cheese. Then grate some Parmigiano Reggiano over top. Bake for 6 to 8 minutes or until the crust is golden. Finish with a drizzle of olive oil and serve. For this pizza, lightly brush the dough with olive oil. Place a light layer of tomato sauce on top. Then sprinkle with some crushed chili flakes. Now, tear up a nice big piece of bocconcini, which is simply unripened mozzarella cheese. Add some fresh basil and top with fontina cheese. Bake for 6 to 8 minutes or until the crust is golden. Once done, drizzle with a bit of olive oil and serve.